How often don't we hear that 97% of scientists agree that humans are the cause of climate change? That this climate change is severe, posing a great threat to our planet, and that we need a drastic reduction in our carbon dioxide emissions. All of this, and I mean all of it, is false. It's a blatant lie that 97% of scientists agree with it. In reality, only 1.6% of scientists agree with the above statements. And there's an incredible diversity among climatologists, geologists, chemists, physicians and so on about the nature and causes of possible changes in the global climate. And an even greater diversity among energy experts, kinetologists and the like about the best way to move forward from where we are now. We will come to talk about the rational response to the lively and fascinating debate about planetary equilibria, but first let us have a look at the 97 myth itself. This myth gained global traction with a tweet by Barack Obama. On May 16, 2013, he posted, and I quote, "97% of scientists agree. Climate change is real, man-made and dangerous." With this very tweet, Obama referred to a paper published the same year by a man called John Cook. John Cook is a controversial environmental activist who runs the alarmist website Skeptical Science. In this paper, he aimed to demonstrate an overwhelming scientific consensus with the obvious intention of strengthening the environmentalist cause. To do so, he analyzed 12,000 articles published in learned journals containing the words global warming or climate change. Then he subdivided these articles into 7 different categories. The first category contained papers which explicitly stated that global warming exists and that it is at least 50% man-made. The second category contained papers which simply stated man has a role in global warming, but they did not in any way quantify that role. The third, that an increase in CO2 in general has a warming effect. The fourth category was papers which did not comment on the role of mankind at all, or which maintained that it is unclear whether man has a role in climate change or not. In the fifth category, John Cook placed the papers which suggested mankind has a minimal impact on global warming. The sixth category then was the papers which stated mankind probably does not have any effect at all on global warming. And the seventh category, finally, explicitly argued that man has less than 50% impact on the global climate. John Cook took the results from the first, second and third categories and brought them all together into one group, the pro group. This amounted to 33% of all papers. But the vast majority of papers, 67%, belonged to category 4, papers that did not comment on man's role in global warming. To this group, Cook applied a statistical trick. Or rather, he simply left these studies out of the equation altogether, causing the pro group to increase from 33% to 97%. This is how the myth of 97% scientific consensus was born. But it gets worse. In John Cook's study, the exact percentages for the separate categories are structurally omitted. They are only taken together as one collective group. And this creates the illusion that all of these scientists agree about man's role in global warming. But in reality, the categories 1 and 2 deal with man's influence, but category 3 only deals with the effects of CO2. If you look at Cook's underlying data and split up the categories, you will see that the vast majority of studies, 75%, only supported the idea that CO2 in general has an effect on the climate. Only 1.6% support the conclusion that mankind is responsible for a significant aspect of climate change. Not 97%, but 1.6%. So most scientists agree that there seems to have been a slow, marginal warming trend since the 1850s. But the idea that 97% of scientists would agree that man is mainly responsible for this is utter nonsense. And this is completely logical too, because the climate has, as we all know, always changed, irrespective of and independent from man's activities. In the early Middle Ages, it was a lot colder than it is now. This period was followed by the era of medieval warmth, in which vineyards were cultivated in Scotland and lively settlements full of activities existed in places that are now buried by hundreds of meters of ice. A small ice age followed, with its heydays in the 16th and 17th centuries, when an elephant could walk on the Thames, and when we painted these well-known winter's views in the frozen Netherlands. Since 1850 then, global temperatures have slowly started to rise again, very gradually. The huge increase in the rise of temperature, of which activists have warned, simply does not exist. There's been no increase in hurricanes, floods, or other forms of extreme weather. Nor is there a dangerous shortage of polar bears. Drought and forest fires have existed throughout the ages and will continue to do so. So there's no need to panic whatsoever. And fortunately, most scientists agree with this.